$20,000 in debt. And I understand I've been incredibly close with Voxer for nearly 5 years at this point. And she drops, you know, like, I'm $20,000 in debt. Understand, since I've known her for this long, and been as close to her as I was, hearing the drop of I'm in this much debt out of nowhere, out of the blue, out of the fucking left field, without anything prior to that, is a little bit shocking to me, right? But I tell her, you know, immediately, hey, you have upcoming credit card payments, you have to pay rent, whatever. I will help you out. And it wasn't just one time where I gave her this big bulk of money. It was several months where I just gave her $1,000, $2,000, you know, whatever, a few $100s, trying to make sure that she could pay rent, that she didn't, you know, she could pay her credit card payments, whatever else. $20,000 in debt. Well, here's the thing, right? I'm not like the smartest guy in the world, but I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid. And there are a lot of things that Voxer would lie to me about. Random things, really random things, that didn't make any fucking sense, even since I've known her. And sometimes I'd call her out on it, even mild things, and she would then go back and be like, of course, I was just joking. I was joking. It was a joke. I wasn't lying about that. It was a joke. And I'll be honest, I wanted to believe her, is what it comes down to. Even if every instinct I had, every gut feeling I had was, this doesn't make any sense. Literally think about the numbers. This doesn't make any fucking sense. I so desperately wanted to believe every single time that she lied to me about something, even beyond this, especially beyond this, that it was true, that she was telling the truth. You know, why would she lie to me? Why would she do this? Why would she do that? There's no way that she's lying to me. There's no way she's telling the truth. And I would convince myself of that as much as I possibly could. Now, I probably would have kept this entirely private if it weren't for the fact that despite everything, despite having like called her out and all these things that she's lied to me about or fucked with me about, whatever else, her problem is that she never takes any accountability. And that has been her problem since I've known her. And my concern is that I'm not the only person she's done this with. And that she, even if I am not the only person that she's done this with, I feel like she might do this in the future. And the problem is I can't even take her word anymore because she's lied to me so much. But let me get into why I think she was lying about the debt or whatever else, right? She said she was $20,000 in debt, and on top of that, she couldn't pay her rent. I know how much she pays for rent. I know how much she pays for rent because I'm the one who put the full security deposit on her apartment, and for months, I paid half of her rent. Very early on to help her get together because she was just moving out. She wasn't making as much on Twitch at the time. She didn't have as many viewers. And I was helping her facilitate that very early on. And I lived with her for a period of time, is why I split the rent, right? I want to make that very clear. I did live with her. That's part of the reason why I split the rent. But even after I was no longer living with her, I continued to split the rent with her for several more months to make that transition easier. Okay? So I tried to help her as much as I possibly could very early on with all of that. Eventually, I told her I literally could not afford to continue splitting the rent. After I'd moved out, it had been a couple months, and I said, you know, you're just going to have to stream and do the best you possibly can, and I believe in you. I think I was a little bit angrier than that, to be fair, around that time. But generally what I said is, you'll do it. You'll figure it out, right? And I'll know you'll figure it out. And she did. She did figure it out. She was able to pay her rent for a while. Now, the reason I bring up I know how much she pays in rent, and that being a factor to me, being very questioning of her $20,000 of debt, is because she would have to not make any money, and I'm going to be very generous here and like include all other expenses, food, whatever the fuck else. She would have to not make any money for 6 months before she got, like at least 6 months before she got into $20,000 of debt. And that just wasn't what was happening. It mathematically doesn't make any sense. It just mathematically doesn't. So the two alternatives to this are that she either, this is why, yes. So after I'd moved out, so I split with her, and then I moved back home for a while, and I continued to split with her. Whatever. So what was I saying? Yeah, she would have had to not make any money for that long. So there are two options here. I want to be very generous and honest. There are two options here. It's not just like she's lying. She has lied to me about a lot of things. It's very possible that she is lying. But the alternative option, instead of lying about the debt, is maybe she just really does not manage her money well. It's possible, right? It's possible. Maybe she just really doesn't manage her money well at all. It still doesn't justify a lot of things. It doesn't make things okay. And evidence that she doesn't manage her money well, again, is in this tweet. This is real. They're a pair of Oliver Peoples glasses. And I think this is just the price for the frame. I think the lenses were even more. And this is just one of many examples of her just doing really frivolous shit. It's funny listening to upbeat Animal Crossing music while talking about this. I just don't... I didn't even think I would be talking about this today. I don't know. I just wanted to clarify these things. I don't want bad things for her, you know? Or just mentally ill, or that, yeah. She really spent that much money on shit. When she's sad, she does, yeah. Or I will spend that money for her, or I have in the past at least. And I want you to know, it wasn't just money for rent that I would give her. I would buy her food. Like I would order her food pretty often, pretty commonly. I would just outright buy her shit sometimes, you know. And these are all my decisions. I want you guys to understand, these are all my decisions. It's not like I got fucking hoodwinked into this. I am like responsible for my own money, and I'm not devastated by the loss of like however much it is. I'm not nearly as devastated as I think most people would be. That's not because I'm like super financially well off. It just, I don't know. I don't feel like, I know it was my decision at the end of the day. All of this was my decision to do what I did. It's not like I was fucking forced into it. You know, I am responsible for a lot of things. I don't think she comes from money. No. I mean, I wouldn't really fully know, to be honest with you, but I don't think she does. Let me go back to my pros and cons list that I wrote. It's so stupid. I'm sorry. Just so dumb. Yeah. Even if she does like deserve this, or even if the absolute worst case scenario is true. Let's imagine the worst case scenario is true. That on top of everything else that she did to me personally that I don't necessarily think is relevant to talk about. Even if she is lying about the debt, lying about her financial position, lying about everything relating to that, you have to understand, I still care about this person immensely, you know, even after everything. I don't necessarily want them in my life for a lot of reasons, but I don't want bad things to happen to them, you know? I don't want, like, fucked up shit to happen to them. I don't want, like, them to no longer be able to stream on Twitch and do what they've been doing for years, right? I don't want them to... I literally, like, the only thing I want is this to not happen again. That's literally it. I don't want them to fucking disappear. I don't want them to, I want none of that. I literally just don't want what happened to me to happen to anybody else. And that goes for all of the other things that I'm not even talking about that some people might know about. You know, I vaguely reference a lot of things on this stream, and I want you to understand they are all very, very connected. All the vague things that I've tweeted about or referenced, you know, me going to the mental hospital for a while, all like this does go incredibly deep. But again, today, I really only just want to touch on the things that people are confused about. And I want to clarify those. And that's about it. And I just want to be kind of like, this is where I'll talking about it here, today, right now, and then never again. And another reason why I wanted to discuss this that I wrote down is a lot of people come in here or like message me and talk to me about her. And I don't know what the proper way is to say, please don't mention her too much around here, please. You know, you can make jokes or whatever else. I'm actually more okay with jokes than I am like people asking me like, hey, how is she? Or, you know, just random personal stuff like that. I don't want to hear about it much anymore for so many reasons. And I didn't know the proper way to say, hey, please don't talk about her without sounding like I'm joking. I'm very rarely serious. Very, very, I think that's pretty evident if you know me. I'm very rarely a serious guy. I don't like being a serious guy. And I don't like being like, hey, don't fucking, I don't know. But that was another one of the reasons I just want to explain why I don't want that much more in my community or chat or whatever else. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'll take some questions, I guess, maybe. I mean, I can't guarantee I'll answer, like, most of them, but I'm sure there's plenty of things I'm forgetting as to why I thought it was sketchy. I'm sure I'm forgetting a lot of other things. I don't know. But the point is, I've from genuine care, I really, really tried to help this person as much as I could. And they have not shown me in any way that there's any remorse for any of the things that they know they did were wrong. They haven't shown me that, you know, why they know those things are wrong. And this is outside of even just the money and all that. They just haven't shown me that this isn't something that'll happen again with somebody else or hasn't already happened with somebody else. You know what I mean? And I would feel really stupid if I didn't at least mention this and then somebody else a few months later is like, hey, I'm like giving, you know, trying to help her out as much as I can. She seems to be in a real pickle of a situation. Or any of the other goofy things that she's been doing. I don't know. I'm just rambling. Given her money before too on a few different occasions. I know you have for different things. And I don't know. Again, everything I did in terms of like helping her out or talking with her, whatever else, it was all incredibly private. One of the reasons I am talking about this today is petty. I'll admit, like I am incredibly mad at her while also, you know, caring a lot and not wanting this to like fuck things up. But I found out that she had been, I mean, among a lot of other much worse things, but just this is somewhat recent. She had been like talking shit about me behind my back, like just saying the most fucking weird things, just like heartbreaking shit. That also was just, I mean, not even true, but well, I mean, it wasn't even like a thing that could be true or not. It was like she would like compare me to some fucking crazy stalker and like all of this and that, and it's just, I don't even know why. That would make so much less sense if I explain the rest. I just don't want to. Whatever. The point is I had found out on top of everything else that she had just been doing all this malicious extra shit for no fucking reason. And that just tells me that she just hasn't learned. She won't learn. I don't know what the fuck else to do. I don't know where the fuck else to go. I'm very much stuck. And if it sounds like I'm rambling and I'm going all over the place, it's because I haven't really talked to anybody about this. This has been in my mind running in circles, along with a lot of other things for the past few months, like for a while, for a long time.